Petrov with Harlamov and Mikhailov. Alinka, Pozar, and Richter starting off as the forward unit for Czechoslovakia. And the championship game is underway, and the puck rolls back to Keuchel. Keuchel at the side of his own goal, clears it out. Puck at center ice and cleared back in over the blue line. Offside, and we played just 8 seconds in the opening period. Holacek in goal for Czechoslovakia. And Tretiak in the net for the Soviet Union. Pozar dumps it ahead to Richter on the right side. Richter is bumped off the puck there by Fedosov. And it goes back into the Soviet zone. Number 7, Sagankov. Just clears it outside his own line. There's a check as Richter bumped Harlamov and knocked him down. Mikhailov falls. The puck on the far side. Halinka goes after Sagankov. It's off the boards. Harlamov reached for it. Failed to get it on his stick. Petrov lost it in the corner to Richter. Richter of Czechoslovakia back to Bubla. Bubla passes on the far side. Pozar lets it go, and that shot went wide. Rolling puck in front, and Tretiak stopped that. Now Sagankov for the Soviet Union to Harlamov at center, intercepted by Bubla. Bubla feeds a pass in for Pozar, knocked down by Fedosov, and Valery Harlamov covers up for the Soviet Union. And he just shoots it off the boards, down the ice, and back after it is Keuchel. Here comes Keuchel, leading a rush for Czechoslovakia. His shot goes wide in behind the Soviet goal. Around the boards, stopped at the line by Bubla, but that hit a skate and deflected wide. Billy Letinov gets it out to center ice. Here's Balderas. He can fly. Lets it go. Deflected high over the glass. Out of play.
Well, obviously, the Czechoslovakian national team. Here we see the shot coming from the point, just going wide. The puck comes from the corner, and Halenka, he has the stick in the air. Richter throws it out. Halenka gets the stick on it, and he thinks it goes off Sagankov in behind Tretiak, but not quite. Tretiak got his foot on. Halenka had his stick in the air, thinking it was the first Czechoslovakian goal.
And we played 1 minute and 35 seconds in the opening period. No score. Zajac behind his own net. Cleared it out to center ice. Here's Martinet. Martinet goes over the line, going in with Novak, and he was checked by Luchenko. Puck rolls in behind the Soviet goal. No score. Number 22 is Luchtov. Luchtov had it knocked off his stick. Martinet at the side, and covering up is Luchenko. Ahead to Helmut Balderas. Balderas trying to get a pass over on the right wing, but that was broken up. Taken back by Martinet. The lead pass over the line goes Novak. Novak drops it in front, and that shot was knocked down by Kapustin. And Kapustin a lead pass to Balderas. He stops, gets it in front, and it rolls right to Holacek, and he covers up.
Well, the action is end-to-end, and this is a very emotional hockey game. All these fans are warming up. We have the Toto-Ho, and we have the Shaibu. Here we see Balderas, and he just dances, holds that puck a little, throws it through, trying to get Kapustin in front of the net, and Holacek killing the play.
Right from the draw, the puck goes back. Here's Vasiliev keeping it in. A slap shot at the side, and coming out, Holacek reached for it, but it didn't reach the net. And we played 2 minutes, 31 seconds, and the puck was knocked with a high stick, so we'll have that face-off again to the left of Yuri Holacek, playing in his 10th World Hockey Championship. And that's as long as CTV has been bringing you the World Hockey Championship back to Canada. There's no score here in the opening period. Going in behind his own goal is Peter Stastny. Over on the far side, lead pass now to Chernik. He can fly. Chernik comes over the line, but he stopped there, and covering up for the Soviet Union is Pervukin. Pervukin passed ahead to Maltsev. He's pinned against the boards by Stastny. Gets it out, though, and here's a chance for Golikov, but he was stopped before he could get to the Czechoslovakian line. Vasiliev. Lead pass, trying to set up Maltsev, but the pass failed to reach him. Mikosh of Czechoslovakia dumps it out where it's stopped by Pervukin. Pervukin's long shot, and Holacek stops that as we played 3 minutes and 25 seconds in the opening period. And there's no score. Here's a chance at the side. Golikov had a great opportunity, and the rebound is stopped by Holacek. Here's a break for Stastny. Stastny coming up, going over the line with Marian Stastny, a shot, and Tretiak stops that. as they go end to end. And coming back is Pervukin. Pervukin is stopped at center. Pinned against the boards, and we get a whistle. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. The forward unit for Czechoslovakia. Petrov is out there with Mikhailov and Harlamov. Harlamov wearing jersey number 17. Both teams are at full strength. No score. The puck rolls back to Bubla. Bubla to Richter. He's backhanded into the Soviet zone. And back quickly is Sagankov behind his own net ahead to Harlamov. Harlamov, a late pass. Going up and dumped was Petrov. As he got the puck in, there's a delayed penalty, and it's called a hooking call against Czechoslovakia.
Well, Petrov, who broke a stick on the faceoff, rushed all the way back into his own end, started to turn, took that lead pass. He'd just taken the pass after getting the new stick. Here we see the hook pulling him down, and we see the Soviet Union getting their first power play. Bubla in the box.
And the time of the penalty, 4 minutes and 4 seconds here in the opening period. Just an hour ago, Team Canada won the bronze medal here in Prague by defeating Sweden 3-2. And in that game, Dion, Sharpley, and Hickey scored the goals for Canada. Back to the line here to Fedosov. Passes to Sagankov. Soviets on the power play. Fedosov takes a shot, gives it to Petrov, and it goes wide. Sagankov, number 7, back to Fedosov. He gets it over, intended for Petrov, and it's slapped down the ice with 1 minute and 39 seconds remaining in the penalty to Bubla, Czechoslovakia. No score. We're in the opening period. That pass to Harlamov. Failed to reach him, goes over the line, and it's icing against the Soviet Union, and the faceoff comes back to Tretiak's left. One of the happiest men in the building between games was John Ferguson, the general manager of the New York Rangers. We spoke with him briefly. Pat Hickey, of course, plays with the Rangers and got that winning goal for Team Canada today. Many general managers on hand. Bob Fulford of Chicago, Max McNabb of Washington, Dennis Balls here from St. Louis. There's Babe Pratt from Vancouver, and a host of NHL scouts, including agents Don Baisley from Winnipeg and the owner of Cleveland, George Gunn, all here watching this game. 4 minutes and 50 seconds have been played. The Soviets are on the power play. There are 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in Bubla's penalty. Now winding up is Petrov. A pass on the right side. Mikhailov spins around, and his shot was stopped at the side of the net by Yuri Holacek. They go into the corner after it. It comes back to Fedosov, and he lost it. Martinet's got it outside the line and back into the Soviet zone with 49 seconds left in the Czechoslovakian penalty. There's no score in the game. Mikosh off the boards. On the far side for Novak, but there first was number 14, Billy Letnov of the Soviet Union. Pass up on the left wing side to Makarov, who's out there now for the first time. Back to Fedosov. Swings into the corner. Balderas goes after it. Balderas drops it into Zluktov. Zluktov, number 22, back to Billy Letnov. Rolls it in front, the rebound, and it's stopped by Holacek.
Well, a very good opportunity. There we see Makarov off the end, and Makarov hockey players. They both appeared in the World Junior Championships in Montreal. And here we've got two 20-year-olds. There's Belavinov just putting the puck through. There we see Balderas off the edge trying to get the puck up. Zluktov, who had been hurt earlier in the tournament, coming to try and get that puck loose from Holacek.
And there are 17 seconds remaining in the penalty to Bubla. The puck slapped off the boards, but not out. Kept there by Billy Letnov. Right in front. Balderas lets it go. And Holacek got a piece of that. 5 seconds left in the penalty as they bump in the corner. Peter Stastny. Checked by Zluktov. Makarov, number 24. Trying to get it back as Bubla steps on the ice. Both teams are at full strength. Balderas, a pass in front, and it was intercepted. Kept in by Billy Letnov. And his backhand shot is stopped by Mikhail. And here comes Czechoslovakia. Over the line, Stastny's drive, and Tretiak stops that.
Well, what a show Helmut Balderas put on here the other night, too. And he's playing very, very well for the Soviet Union early in this game. But he got a hat trick in the second period against Sweden on Friday night and put on a performance that was just outstanding.
Lively crowd in Prague, Czechoslovakia. This is the championship game coming to you live on the full CTV network. Puck rolls into the Soviet zone. Pervukin, number 5. Gets the pass out. Golikov comes out for the Soviet Union on the right wing. Passes in front to his brother. That's Vladimir Golikov, but it just bounced off his stick. Rolls in front. And Maltsev almost had a glorious scoring opportunity there. Halinka, he stopped. Golikov comes back in, takes a shot. And that is stopped easily by Holacek. Bubla, number 19. Pass over on the left wing side. Broken up there by Vasiliev. Kept in at the line, though, and that shot just went wide. Here's Richter. Richter, number 8. Hozar moves towards the center of the net. Richter's knocked down along with Pervukin. Still going after the puck. In to help out is Alexander Golikov. No score, and this is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. And we played 7 minutes and 15 seconds in the opening period. There's no score. The puck comes back. Kaberle's shot, and that went wide. After it is Sagankov. Left it there for Mikhailov. A pass to the left wing side to Valery Harlamov. Knocked off his stick by Martinets. Martinets, number 10. Goes over to Czech Fedosov. The puck rolls into the Czechoslovakian zone. And in after it is Kaberle, number 15. No score as we approach the 7-minute, 45-second mark in the opening period. Inside the line goes Aberman. Knocked off the puck by Fedosov. Trying to get a face-off in the Soviet zone, but it's brought right back out. Martinets on the far side is checked by Mikhailov, and Martinets goes right back in behind his own goal. A pass to Kaberle. Kaberle was checked there by Harlamov, forced to go back again. And on the opposite side, Petrov breaks up that play, and here the net comes off. Those short pegs again, and referee Ken Pierce blows the whistle immediately.
Well, Mikhailov was a little upset because he had ducked for that puck behind the net, and he finally got possession. He threw it out. The Soviet man who's in the slot, ready for the shot, looks, and there's the net turned around the other way. That's a tough way to score a goal.
And a big day for Canada, winning over Sweden earlier today, 3-2, winning a bronze medal.
Here you see Mikhailov going behind the net, working for the puck. Whoops, there the net goes off. He finally gets it out in front, but too late.
Zlukov slapping away at the loose puck. Taken in behind the net. Peter Stastny's out there for Czechoslovakia with Marian Stastny, and they clear it down the ice into the Soviet zone with Billy Letinov, number 14, back after it. Being chased behind the net by Peter Stastny. Gets the pass ahead to Kapustin. Kapustin's bumped. Peter Stastny comes back over the line. And he tried to get the pass to Chernik. Chernik had to wait until Stastny got back on side. 8 minutes and 55 seconds have been played in the opening period, and there's still no score. Billy Letinov. Pass to Zlukov. Zlukov checked by Peter Stastny. Puck comes over to Balderas. Balderas circling around center ice. Dumps it into Luchenko, number 3. Luchenko passed behind Zlukov. And Balderas is over quickly to get that puck. Players collide. Puck cleared over the line. Mikos got a piece of Zlukov, but the puck goes into the corner. Both players fall. And here comes Czechoslovakia. Up on the right side. Cleared in by Marian Stastny. And Peter Stastny bumps with Billy Letinov. Has the puck. Swings around from Balderas. Passes in front. And there's nobody there. Bubla tried to keep it in. Stopped there at the line by Pozar. Pozar, a pass right in front. Here's a chance for Marian Stastny, but he just failed to get a shot. As the Soviets come right back, Balderas drops it over to Kapustin. Kapustin's shot broke his stick, and Keiko feeds it out to Halinka. Halinka coming up over the line with Pozar, and that shot just goes wide of the Soviet goal. Rolls to the blue line, and coming back for the Soviet Union, number 23 is Alexander Golikov, tied up by Bubla, and Keiko brings it out with a pass at center ice, coming over the line. Taking a shot as Pozar goes into the corner, chased by Vasiliev, and he dumps it out, and the puck's loose at center. Halinka gets it for Czechoslovakia, brings it over the line, and they're calling it a deliberate offside.
Well, that's pretty doubtful. It was a deliberate offside. Halinka wasn't sure where his teammates were inside the zone. He made the little turn at the blue line, then took it in, but he wasn't sure. He couldn't see who was behind him. but the puck comes all the way into the Czechoslovakian zone.
Helmut Balderas looking on from the Soviet bench.
Here we see the big captain. Puck gets moved inside. Here's the opportunity just off the edge of the net. Tretiak. Hlinka not able to catch up with the puck as it goes into the corner.
This game for the gold medal at the 1978 World Hockey Championships. And it's been a great start, a scoreless tie after 10 minutes, 35 seconds. There's a drive, and that's stopped in front. Pervukin let it go. The Soviets trying to get into scoring position. Aberman runs into his check, and the player's puck slapped off the board, kept in by Pervukin, rolls to the side of the net. Back to the line, there's a drive, and it's over top of the Czechoslovakian goaltender, Halicek. Another shot from the side by Maltsev. And it's brought back by Czechoslovakia. Over the line goes Novak into the corner to Martinets. Martinets bumps with Pervukin, sends it on the far side, and number 7, Zajac, got there to keep it in. Let the Soviets get possession quickly again. Golikov comes over the line. Vladimir Golikov, number 25, into the corner. A pass in front for his brother Alexander, and it's intercepted, and Czechoslovakia comes right back. Aberman goes off as the Czechoslovakian team trying to get a line change. Pervukin for the Soviet Union to Valery Harlamov. Harlamov comes over the Czechoslovakian line but can't split the defense. Rolls into the corner. Mikosh bumps him, and they pin it there and get a whistle. There's no score, and this is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Welcome back to Prague, Czechoslovakia on this Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody across Canada. And there's no score between Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union. And the puck just dumped out to center. Mikosh, number 4, has it for Czechoslovakia. Pass on the left side. Chernik races in quickly after it. Bumped and falls down as Sagankov ran into him. After it is Peter Stachny. He was stopped at center. Fedosov carries on for the Soviets. A pass over on the far side was broken up by Mikosh, but he can't get it outside the line. In after it, number 9 is Dvorak. Dvorak got it up to his own blue line, and it's finally cleared out to center ice. Brought back in by Zagankov. Rolls it right to the Czechoslovakian net. And before Halicek could get his glove on it, the Soviet player took a swipe and hit him on the hand.
Well, Sagankov just looked and tried to put that puck just in. Here we see Sagankov taking it rather casually. He's looking. He puts it through. Mikhailov is breaking to the net. Tries to get a stick onto the puck before Halicek can kill it. Actually, Halicek never did kill it. There's Sagankov just throwing it through. That veteran Mikhailov trying to dump that puck behind Halicek.
And we played 12 minutes and 33 seconds in the opening period. Hlinka is out there now for Czechoslovakia with Pozar, number 23, and Richter, number 8. Richter fires it over to Keuchel. Keuchel dumps it into Pozar, but it's offside at the Soviet blue line.
Well, we see big number 22 for the Soviet Union, Zhluktov, and I'm really surprised that he's playing in this hockey game. He took an awful jolt in the last game against Team Canada. He had a very bad shoulder. He hasn't practiced or played for the last 3 or 4 days, but there he is out taking a regular shift at center on this line change.
Puck rolls to Luchenko, then he shoots it onto the other side. Billy Letinov, number 14, ran into Hlinka. The puck rolls, and Luchenko is there to cover up. But it comes back out. Bubla brings it over the line to Richter. But scooping it up is Makarov. He loses it. Richter tries to give it to Hlinka. Back to Bubla, and he fanned on his shot. Hlinka in the corner, taken against the boards by Luchenko. And we get a whistle with another face-off in the Soviet zone.
Well, who said this international hockey isn't rough or that they don't take cheap shots? Because Valentinov, he just came in there and just gave a little jolt to Richter. Just put his fist right in his face, and there was a little bit of a hassle in the corner.
Many Canadian supporters on hand here in Prague, and General Motors, one of Team Canada's biggest boosters here during the championship. We thank General Motors for their support of not only bringing this telecast to all Canadians, but also for making Team Canada 78 a reality. An exciting Team Canada winning a bronze medal earlier today, 3-2 over Sweden. Here's Martinek, lets it go, the rebound, and Tretiak stopped that. On the far side, Alexander Golikov. And the puck is fired into the Czechoslovakian zone. We played 13 minutes and 40 seconds here in the opening period. There's no score. Maltsev, number 10. On the right wing side, goes over the line, left the puck behind, and it's the delayed offside at the Czechoslovakian blue line. The All-Star team here at the championships announced this afternoon. Polacek of Czechoslovakia, the All-Star goaltender. Bubla of Czechoslovakia, Fedosov of the Soviet Union on defense. And the forward unit, Halinka of Czechoslovakia with Maltsev and Kapustin. That's the All-Star team announced today here in Prague. And Team Canada had 10 players receive votes, but the team dominated by Czechoslovakian and Soviet players. Marcel Dion was the runner-up in the center position. He had 42 votes as the center. Halinka was the winner with 58. 13 minutes and 50 seconds have been played in the opening period. There's no score. Bumping in the corner, number 15 is Kaberle of Czechoslovakia, rolling puck in front. And Averman tries to get it out. Novak finally gets it out to center ice. And Provukin got it for the Soviets over to Vasiliev up on the left side. That's Golikov. Had it bounce off his skates. Alexander Golikov knocked down Martinet. And Kaberle gives it to Novak. A delayed penalty coming up to the Soviets. As Novak has the puck inside his own line, coming up the pass on the left side. And Pozar had it bounce off his stick. And finally the penalty is called. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Czechoslovakia on the power play now. Golikov in the penalty box at 14:31. Puck rolls back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Dvorak goes back after it. Czechoslovakia on the power play. There's no score here in the opening period. Stashny shoots it into the corner. In after it is Sagankov. And he just clears it down the ice back into the Czechoslovakian zone. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the penalty to Golikov of the Soviet Union. Stashny shoots it into the Soviet zone. Marian Stashny goes in after it. Kicks it to his brother Peter Stashny, number 26. Back to Marian Stashny. Marian Stashny back to the line. Dvorak makes a shot. Marian Stashny lets it go. And covering up, blocking the shot, is Tretiak.
Well, it was very interesting how this was set up. Here we see Stashny throwing it to the point. He moves to the middle, and you see the screen in front of the net. His brother is screening the Soviet defenseman, allowing Stashny to go right to the net and get the shot. But here's the first puck coming out of the corner. Then watch the tie up in front of the net. Fedosov is tied. Look at him tying him right up in there, allowing Stashny to get that shot on goal. And Tretiak has to come up with a big stop here on the Czechoslovakian power play.
Halinka with Richter and Pozar. The Soviets get possession and shoot it down the ice with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in the penalty. Bubla, number 19, leaves it there for the big captain, Ivan Halinka. Halinka of Czechoslovakia to Pozar on the left side. Goes into the corner. Checked by Zagankov. And slapping it off the boards. And gets it out to center ice in a race for it. Mikhailov is grabbed by Bubla. And there's a penalty there coming up. Interference. As Bubla grabbed a hold of the Soviet player right at the Czechoslovakian line.
Well, Mikhailov saw his opportunity when the puck came out of that zone. He just scooted ahead. Here's the puck coming out by... Now look at Mikhailov. He just puts that... Here's the veteran. He's trying to get around to get... Bubla has to put the hog tie on him, bring him to the boards. And this is the thing that drives you crazy. Here is Bubla again. His arm right around him, bring him down, and that nullifies the Czechoslovakian power play.
And the time of the penalty, 15 minutes and 50 seconds. There are still 41 seconds remaining in Golikov's penalty, and now Bubla's in there for Czechoslovakia. No score as Keuchel brings the puck out. Gets it over the line. There's a drive, and that just goes wide as Halinka let that shot go. After it for the Soviets is Kapustin, number 8. And he has possession, leading a Soviet attack, coming up to center with Balderas. Goes over the line, shoots it into the corner. Balderas after it. Passes right in front, a loose puck. Reaching out is Holacek. And he smothers and holds onto it.
Well, these two forwards, Helmut Balderas, here we see now Kapustin moving the puck in the corner. Balderas is first to the puck. He throws it out in front. Kapustin trying to get enough strength. There you see the Czechoslovakian defender tying him up. He's trying to get enough strength to get around. But these two forwards, Kapustin and Balderas, they just dance on their skates. Are they ever fast? And they're moving in trying to get that first goal for the Soviet Union.
A reminder, next Saturday, May 20th, the annual Bursary Figure Skating Show from Toronto, featuring Canada's top figure skaters. That's the Canadian Bursary Figure Skating Show from Toronto next Saturday, and it'll be followed by the Preakness Stakes from Baltimore. And here it's a scoreless tie in the opening period. Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union playing for the gold medal. Stopped at the line. That shot comes right to Holacek, and he had to be sharp there. Dolokhov steps on the ice. The Soviets are back at full strength, and Bubla still has 1 minute and 12 seconds left in his penalty. Number 23 is Alexander Golikov. Got it around, but it was stopped there. Loose puck comes in front, and the puck is brought back out. Over the line goes Golikov. Got it back. And it's slapped down the ice with 48 seconds remaining in Bubla's penalty. Off the boards for Vukin. Number 5, back for the Soviets to Maltsev. Maltsev goes right back inside his own blue line. Getting speed, coming up to the Czechoslovakian line. Took a tumble as he tried to crash through the defense. And the puck is cleared right back. Canada defeating Sweden 3-2 earlier today. Dion, Sharpley, and Hickey were the goal scorers for Team Canada. And a proud moment for Canadians here in Prague as Team Canada wins the bronze medal. Fedosov, pass to Harlamov on the left side, comes over the line, moving towards the goal. Puck bounces into the corner, and Dvorak got it outside the line. Both teams are back at full strength. Zagankov bumped against the boards by Dvorak, almost right into the Czechoslovakian bench. There's a drive, and that goes wide of the Soviet goal. Peter Stastny going after it. Bubla got it to Peter Stastny around the boards. Stopped at the line, brought in by Mikosh. His backhand shot, stopped by Tretiak. Here's a chance for Bubla. Lets it go. Oh, and what a save by Tretiak as he got his skate on that. Then he thought it was in the net, as that drive by Bubla was stopped by Tretiak. Here comes Petrov as the fans still buzzing about that shot. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. And back to the live action. The puck taken in behind his own net by Pozar. Pozar of Czechoslovakia. Both teams are at full strength. Gets the pass ahead to Halinka. And he just let it roll into the Soviet zone with Billy Letnov being chased by Richter. Loose puck comes in front. Luktov covers up number 22. Luktov ahead to Balderas. Balderas coming up with Makarov. We're in the final minute. Right in, he scores! Balderas. And it's 1-0 for the Soviet Union.
Well, this man, he just dances on his skates. What a goal. These two, Balderas and Kapustin, they just have the speed. Here we see the puck being moved out of the Soviet zone. Look at Balderas. He's in full flight. He just dives right between. How did he keep his balance? There he's trying to be tripped. Stays with that puck and puts the puck low by Holacek. But here he is dancing right between the two defenders. Maybe it's that figure skating training that Soviet players have. Here he is maintaining his balance. Even though he was trying to be tripped by the last Czechoslovakian defender, he still stays on his feet to get the first Soviet goal.
And the time of the goal, 19 minutes and 5 seconds. Balderas Haberly ahead to Martinet, and it was knocked off his stick. And the puck loose at center ice. Soviet Union leading 1-0 on that goal by Helmut Balderas. Haberly takes it to the Soviet line, but can't get over. Martinet brings it over, but he's upset right at the Soviet blue line, and there'll be a hooking penalty against Vladimir Golikov at 19 minutes and 33 seconds.
Well, I guess this may be what you call a good penalty, because here everybody's moving out. Martinet steals that puck, and it would have created an opportunity, a 2-on-1 inside that zone. Golikov just reached back, did a little hook on Martinet, and away he goes.
Golikov in the penalty box. And we get a look now at the Czechoslovakian power play, and it's a very potent power play. And we'll see how effective they are against the very awesome Soviet Union hockey club. 1-0, the Soviets leading. Puck slopped at center ice there by Zajac. Brought back in, and Provukin's shot goes into the corner. This is Yuri Novak winding up for Czechoslovakia, being chased there by Alexander Golikov as the horn goes to end the first period of play. And some exciting action, Tom, there.
Well, I would say this, the Czechoslovakian national team.
Union outshot Czechoslovakia 15-3. The only scoring play, Balderas from Zlukov at 19:05. Halinka goes behind his own goal for Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia on the power play. A lead pass to Pozar over the line, but he just had the puck knocked away before he could get a shot. Keuchel back in behind his own net for Czechoslovakia. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the Soviet penalty. On the right side, the puck cleared in by Marian Stashny, and back after it is Sagankov. Tries to get it out, fails. The puck rolls towards the goal. Here's a shot, and Trepchak covered up. Bubla tries to get it to Halinka. Marian Stashny is knocked against the boards by Sagankov. Puck rolls to this side. Pozar at the side, but he couldn't get a good shot away. And the Soviets clear it outside the line to center. Sagankov going over the line, gets a drive, and that's deflected by Yuri Holacek. Another shot. That didn't miss by much as Petrov let it go. 25 seconds remaining in the Soviet penalty to Golikov. 1-0, the Soviets leading Czechoslovakia. Ivan Halinka winding up now. Going over the Soviet line towards the goal. Passes to Pozar, but he was bumped and the puck slapped down the ice by Fetisov. And there are 8 seconds left in the Soviet penalty to Vladimir Golikov. Keuchel leading a rush back for Czechoslovakia. Shoots it in. Tretiak misjudged that, but it was off the net. Soviets are back at full strength now. Bumping in the corner for possessions. Lukchov goes in as well. And they pin it there and get a face-off in the Soviet zone.
Well, the Czechoslovakian power play, which has been just super in this tournament, wasn't able to get possession for long enough inside the Soviet zone, and they only had the one good opportunity when it was tipped through from the point, and Stashny moved in for the shot from the side. But that was their only good shot in that first power play they've had in this second period.
We played 1 minute and 45 seconds in the second period. Kept into the Soviet line. Novak rolls it in front. But the Soviets come right back. Klukov, a lead pass for Balderas. He just clears it into the corner to Kapustin. Kapustin bumped out of the play. And covering up Zajac. Can't get it out. Klukov shot. And Holacek had to be sharp there. Kaberle rolls it out to center into the Soviet zone. Billy Letnov in front of his own goal, number 14. He backhands it to Kapustin. Kapustin going over the Czechoslovakian line. Stopped by Zajac. And Zajac pass on the right side. Back over to Novak. Novak backhands it into the corner. And back after it is Augusta, number 16. He's bumped off the puck. Rolls to number 11. That's Novak, and that shot by Zajac just goes wide. Another drive, and Tretiak stops that. He's been sharp here in the early going of the second period. Zajac tries to get it to the side. Novak slaps away at it. Goes after the loose puck. Zajac waiting for it. There's a shot that goes wide. And the puck is knocked off the mooring, as there was quite a shoving match in front of that Soviet goal.
Well, I don't believe that Belalenov, he had Bubla right inside the net, just pushing and shoving him right off that net. The mooring right off.
And the Soviets lead 1-0. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Penalty box, double minors to Augusta and to Billy Letnov. Mikosh shot hit a skate in front and goes wide. Pervukin passes on the right side to Alexander Maltsev, coming up to center. over the line, carrying in his Golikov, and he was bumped by Mikosh. Both teams are a man short to the Soviet Union, leading by a score of 1-0. Mikosh, number 4. Passes at center to Marian Stashny, over to Peter Stashny, right in on goal, and a skate save by Tretiak. Comes back, Dvorak over to the far side. Mikosh lets it go, and that hit Vasiliev in front and went wide. Pervukin gets it to Maltsev at his own blue line, then clears it out. Pass back over the line, going in as Pervukin towards the goal, stops, gets right in front, there's a shot, oh, and it was stopped on the line as Golikov had a glorious scoring opportunity, but didn't hit the puck hard enough. Golikov just backhands it back into the Czechoslovakian zone, where Miroslav Dvorak passes on the right side to Marian Stashny, his shot, and Tretiak stopped that. We played 4 minutes and 15 seconds in the second period. The Soviets lead 1-0. Varlamov takes it into the corner, being chased by Pozar, and Pozar intercepts. Pozar coming out with Holinka. Holinka circling back inside his own blue line, and there are 27 seconds remaining in the minor penalties to Billy Letinov of the Soviet Union and Augusta of Czechoslovakia. Here's Holinka stealing the puck. Passes to Pozar, and he's fanned on his shot. Goes into the corner, bumped against the boards by Vasiliev.
Well, the pace and intensity of the hockey game. Here we see Pervukin just turning off the defender, moving in front. Look at this. Golikov waits, just lets up, and we see the defender, Dvorak, just coming through to get that puck. But it was a sure goal for Golikov. If he could just put it up or get a little more stick on it, it would have been by Holinka for the second Soviet goal.
Holinka wins the draw, comes back, and that drive taken by Keuchel was just deflected wide, and the Soviets shoot it down the ice, and it's icing against the Soviet Union. Shots on goal in the first period. The Soviets outshot Czechoslovakia 15-3, and the only scoring play of the game, Helmut Balderas scoring from Viktor Zlukov at 19:05. There are 4 seconds remaining in the penalties to Billy Letinov and Augusta. Varlamov goes after the puck as the penalized players step on the ice, and we've reached the 5-minute mark here in the second period. Ivan Holinka now winding up for Czechoslovakia, coming up with Pozar, feeds it past to Keuchel, lets it go, and Tretiak came out to stop that and cut down the angle. Fetisov bounces it over to Petrov. Petrov scoops it into the Czechoslovakian zone, gloved by Holicek, and not taking any chances, covers up. Enjoyed the interviews during that intermission with Bill Stevenson and the wives of Dennis Kern, John Pronovo, and Coach Harry Howell. Of course, this Mother's Day, a reminder for the folks in the Thunder Bay area, the Kinsman Clubs of Thunder Bay are again conducting a telethon in aid of cystic fibrosis research on CHFD television, and that'll be held today in Thunder Bay, and it's certainly worthy of your support. 1-0 for the Soviet Union. Puck taken in front, and covering up is Luchenko. Helmut Balderas gives it to Zlukov. Balderas falls, gets up quickly. Both teams are at full strength. Balderas out there, moves towards the goal. Billy Letinov goes in behind the net. There's a rolling puck in front, and 2 players were mixing it up in front, and referee Pierce signifies a penalty.
Well, Zlukov wanted to come back at the Czechoslovakian player there of Augusta, but both of them are going off.
This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Czechoslovakia, this is Bernie Pascal along with Tom Watt and Bill Stevenson. The Soviet Union leading by a score of 1-0, and the 2 penalized players, Augusta of Czechoslovakia and Zlukov of the Soviet Union. Balderas steps away from Marian Stashny, then is hit hard at the blue line by Mikosh, and Mikosh gets up slowly. Puck rolls in behind the Czechoslovakian net. Dvorak, watched there by Makarov, takes the puck, now comes out with it, passes back to Mikosh. Balderas watching him, then Makarov tried to get a piece of him. Comes to Dvorak, moving towards the Soviet goal, gets a shot away, and escape save by Tretiak. We've played 6 minutes and 45 seconds in the second period. The Soviet Union, on a first period goal by Helmut Balderas, are leading 1-0. Balderas left that puck there for Makarov. Makarov goes into the corner, number 24. Bumped by Mikosh. And it comes over now to Stastny. Peter Stastny going in with Marian Stastny over the line. Backhands it to Marian Stastny. His shot. And it goes wide of the Soviet goal. Makarov, number 24. Passes in front to Luchenko. The veteran defenseman left it there for Balderas. Balderas, dipsy-doodling, passes up on the left side to Mikhailov. Into the corner, bumped against the boards, and Holacek scoops it up, throws it over to Pozar, rolls to the other side. Maltsev goes in quickly, takes it from Mikosh. Here's a chance for Vasiliev. His shot deflected wide and hit the glass. Comes back to Maltsev. And Holacek stops that.
Well, Holacek has had to be sharp on the few opportunities the Soviets have had at this point in the second period. Here we see the puck coming back to Vasiliev. Maltsev gets his stick on it, deflected right over top of the net. Gets the puck back, gets a shot away the second time before he is decked. But Maltsev is always dangerous. And there he is down on the ice. But he's the Soviet player who is perhaps their most versatile. He can play center, he can play on the side, he has great skill. He plays all types of hockey games. He can play if it's a rough game, he can play if it's a wide open game. But this would be a blow to the Soviets if Maltsev can't continue in this hockey game.
And earlier today, as we mentioned, Team Canada winning a bronze medal, defeating Sweden 3-2. Marcel Dion, Sharpley, and Hickey were the goal scorers. Hickey getting the winner as Canada won a bronze, defeating Sweden 3-2. 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining, or rather been played here in the second period. Balderas has been the lone goal scorer at 19:05 of the first period. Ready now, Hlinka is out there at center against Petrov, number 16 for the Soviet Union. Hlinka wins the draw, but the puck comes to Zagankov, drops it back to the line. Fetisov shot, and Holacek deflected that. Harlamov, number 17, cleared it right in front. Hlinka intercepts for Czechoslovakia. A pass up on the left side, going over the line. Number 19 is Yuri Bubla. Now Fetisov covering up for the Soviets. Number 2 brings it out. Both penalized players back on the ice. Teams are at full strength. Goes over the line, but it's offside at the Czechoslovakian blue line.
Well, young Fetisov, too, who took the puck over there, he is a draft, a National Hockey League draft this year, and all these scouts that have been here at this tournament, all of them would just love to have his name on a contract at the end of this season.
Hlinka and Petrov. Puck rolls inside the line. Harlamov moved in, and it's offside again. The gold medal at stake in this game today between the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia. Hlinka against Petrov. The puck rolls in. Here's Keuchel. Keuchel got away from Mikhailov. Coming out on left wing to the Soviet line and over. Being chased by Zagankov. Got a shot that was wide of goaltender Tretiak. And the Soviets just slap it off the boards right to Yuri Holacek. And he in turn gives it to Pozar, who falls in the corner. Now he bumps with the Soviet player Petrov. Petrov has the puck to Mikhailov, and it bounces off Richter right back into the Soviet zone. We've played 8 minutes and 55 seconds in the second period. Harlamov brings it back in for the Soviets. A pass in front to Mikhailov, back to Harlamov, and he couldn't get a shot away. As a good defensive play there by Richter, number 8. And the Czechoslovakian team clears it down the ice. Pozar and Petrov exchanging words at the center ice area. Puck taken by Hlinka. On the left side to Zajac. Zajac goes in, but Richter is caught inside the blue line where he was bumping with Harlamov. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Off, the Soviets lead 1-0 on a first period goal by Helmut Balderas. Zajac passed ahead there to Augusta. He just deflected into the Soviet zone. Billy Letnov clears it out to center ice. Zajac drops it over on the far side. Bubla then shot it to center. It's intercepted by the Soviets, and they clear it into the Czechoslovakian zone with Zajac being chased by Kapustin. Kapustin falls. Zajac out to center to Augusta to Martinez. Martinez gets by one player, gets a shot, and that missed just by inches on the Soviet goal and comes right back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Zajac, number 7, clears it off the boards. Yuri Novak ahead to Augusta, but he couldn't reach it, and Luchenko moves in quickly behind his own net, backhands it to Zlutov. Zlutov checked by Novak. Puck rolls over to the other side, and Helmut Balderas, number 19, covers up and passes to Billy Letinov. Soviets lead 1-0. Broken up by Cable to Martinez. Martinez gets to the Soviet line, backhands it into the corner. Billy Letinov goes behind his own goal as we play 10 minutes and 35 seconds in the second period. Balderas at center for the Soviets. Gets by Chernik. Moves over the line. A pass in front was intercepted. And Chernik had it momentarily knocked off his stick. Here comes Balderas moving towards the goal to Kapustin, and that shot is deflected wide of the Czechoslovakian goal. And off the boards, down the ice, icing against Czechoslovakia.
Well, again, Helmut Balderas just putting on a display here. Every time he gets that puck, he's dangerous, and he just moved around there a few times. The first move at the blue line, he almost slipped the puck through to Zlutov. The second time, he did get the puck over to Kapustin, but he wasn't able to get the clear shot. But he's really quick, and he turns things around for the Soviet Union.
Face off to the left of Yuri Holacek. Veteran goaltender playing in his 10th World Hockey Championships. And while we have a moment, let's offer congratulations to the New Westminster Bruins of the Western Canada Junior League, winners of the Memorial Cup, defeating Peterborough 7-4 yesterday in the game seen live on the CTV network. Golikov ready now for this face-off against Peter Stastny. The Soviets lead 1-0. The puck rolls and taken out by Chernik. Chernik going in with Marian Stastny. Stopped. Watched by Vasiliev. Passes in front. And Peter Stastny's shot went wide. Mikosh moves in. Can't get it. Golikov goes after it. Puck loose at center ice. Two players collide, and it's brought in by the Soviets. Lebedev, who's out there now, number 11, goes into the corner. Bumped against the board. Peter Stastny tries to get it. It rolls in front, a loose puck, and Chernik slaps it to the boards. In behind the net, Golikov goes after it. Here's Vasiliev's shot. Grabbed and stopped by Holacek. Cleared but not out. Pervukin lets a drive go. And it goes around the boards. Lebedev behind the net. Passes in front. Vasiliev stops it. Passes on the far side to Pervukin. And he had it but kept it in at the blue line. Goes in behind the Czechoslovakian net. Backhanded to the blue line, and again the Soviets keep it in as Vasiliev this time got to it. Now Czechoslovakia with Chernik coming up with Marian Stastny. He's hauled down by Alexander Golikov, and there'll be a penalty as Golikov hauled down Chernik.
Well, Chernik, he is the young player who's just been added to this Czechoslovakian team. There we see the Soviet Union having the opportunity.
This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Golikov in the penalty box, time 12:09, and the Soviets lead 1-0. Czechoslovakia, of course, on the power play. They keep possession. Halinka backhands it into the corner. Moving in front, Martinez trying to get it to Pozar. Still has possession. Martinez, number 10 for Czechoslovakia, fires it around to the opposite side to Halinka. Halinka backhands it to Martinez. Martinez just let it go, and off the board, shooting it down the ice is Petrov. And Mikhailov is down there quickly, but Holacek gives it to Bubla. Back to Milan Keuchel. Keuchel to Halinka. Back to Keuchel. Keuchel coming up the middle. Going over the line with Halinka, watched by Mikhailov. Backhands it, hit a player's skate, goes into the corner. Soviets trying to get a whistle, and they succeed.
Well, the Soviet team on the Czech power play have done a very good job keeping it out of their zone. They know what they're doing, and they can get the opportunity. But the Soviets throwing a little caution to the wind, trying to do a little forechecking, going in deep, trying to delay the Czechoslovakian team a little in their zone.
And there are 6 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the second period. The Soviet Union won, and Czechoslovakia no score. Soviets are a man short, 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Golikov. Petrov will take this draw against Yuri Novak, number 11. And the official waiting to get them into position. Now referee Ken Pierce of the United States moves in. Pierce refereeing his second game of the day. He refereed the game earlier.
Do you think he'll sleep tonight?
With Canada winning. Right. Off the boards, down the ice. And that was a political battle. The referees' meetings and the teams requesting various referees, and they finally agreed to have the U.S. referee handle both games today. Very important, of course. Novak shoots it around the boards to Martinets. Martinets tries to get it back to the blue line, but Petrov breaks it up. Rolls it in on the right wing side to Mikhailov. Mikhailov bumped against the boards by Caberly. Puck rolls to the blue line inside the Czechoslovakian zone. Two players collide, and the puck's underneath them, and we finally get a whistle.
Well, you know, the Soviets have changed this up. The first time, early in the power play, they went after in the zone. The last time the Czechoslovakian team went back, they just turned and picked up their wings. So they're varying their tactics against Czechoslovakia, trying to defend against this power play.
13 minutes and 42 seconds have been played in the second period. Puck rolls into Dvorak. Dvorak, number 9, drops it there for Peter Stastny. Stastny comes out for Czechoslovakia, trying to get away from Zlukov. Rolls in over the line, bumped by Balderas. Marian Stastny has it, takes a shot, and that was stopped by Luchenko. Back to the line to Mikos. Lets it go, and that goes wide. Stopped on this side by Dvorak. There are 2 seconds left in the Soviet penalty. There's Chernik's shot, and that hit Billy Letnov and went wide. Soviets are back at full strength. Peter Stastny tried to get it. Chernik was bumped off the puck, and here comes Golikov. Balderas circling at the blue line. Golikov goes right in, and Holacek made the big save there.
Well, Golikov came very close on that opportunity after jumping out of the box, and it's very important for the Soviets. Every goal here. Here we have Golikov. You see Balderas in behind, almost gets pushed offside. He manages to straddle the line. This momentarily takes the defender's attention away from Golikov, who moves right in on his own. But we see Holacek coming out to cut off that angle and make the stop. But every goal is important here. The Soviet Union must win this hockey game by 3 goals if they wish to win the gold medal. If they win it by 2 or 1, that's not enough. And of course, if there is a tie or Czechoslovakia wins the game, they will be the world champions.
Earlier today, Canada winning the bronze medal with that 3-2 victory over Sweden. Puck loose at center. Ozar goes over, trying to set up Milan Novi, who's out there for the first time in the game. Novi bumps with Luchenko. And the puck cleared right to Billy Letnov, to Balderas, back to Billy Letnov. On the left side to Makarov, and he let it go into the Czechoslovakian zone, and it's offside.
Well, I just saw the trainer for the Soviet Union taking Alexander Maltsev down the hall into the room, and he was limping very, very badly. And we've seen Lebedev move on the line with the Golikovs here, so the Soviet Union are adjusting their units.
Halinka and Zlukov. Puck is dropped. Ozar. Zlukov comes over the line to Balderas. Goes in behind the Czechoslovakia net. Rolls it in front, and Halinka intercepts. Shoots it to center ice, where it's brought right back by Zlukov to Billy Letnov, number 14, to Balderas. 15 minutes and 15 seconds have been played in the second period. The Soviets lead 1-0. Halinka steals the puck. Rolls it over to Pozar. He's dumped by Billy Letnov before he could get a shot away. And the Soviets backhand the puck outside their own blue line. It goes to center. Billy Letnov to Balderas. Over to Zlukov. Zlukov gets a shot, and Holacek makes the save. Now Pozar brings it back to Halinka. Halinka was stopped by number 25, Vladimir Golikov. Rolls inside the Soviet line, then out to center. Balderas tried to pass it over and hit Bubla. Halinka to Novi. Novi, number 6, drops it right back inside his own blue line. Zayacek will try to bring it out. Zayacek fired to an open wing, goes into the Soviet zone with Pervukin, number 5, behind his own goal. A pass at center ice to Zlukov, trying to set up Lebedev. Zayacek to Martinez. Martinez goes over the line. He was stopped. And the Soviets come racing right back. This is Alexander Golikov. Got it over the line, then backhanded it. It would have been offside. Billy Letnov. Pass goes to the far side, then shot in behind the Soviet net. Billy Letnov off the boards for Pervukin. Czechoslovakian players dump. There'll be a penalty to Golikov. A tripping call right to the left of Tretiak. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Golikov in the penalty box for the Soviet Union. The time of his penalty, 16 minutes and 34 seconds. And the Soviets lead by a score of 1-0 on a first period goal by Helmut Balderas at 19:05 of the opening period.
Well, I'd like to see the Czechoslovakian team open up a little bit here. I think they've been a little too conservative early in the game, except for the few odd flurry. They've been content to sit on this lead. But with this power play, with 3.5 minutes remaining, this would be a key point to turn it on here and get the opportunity.
Ivan Halinka, captain of the Czechoslovakian team, goes behind his own goal. Fires it on the right side. Czechoslovakia on the power play. Novak is stopped at center. The puck rolls over to Bubla. Bubla backhands it to Martinez. Martinez going back inside his own line. Now swings out. Going up with Augusta over the line. Passes to Augusta, going for the goal. Spun around by Zagankov. And the puck cleared to an open wing and down the ice into the Czechoslovakian zone. Bubla gives it to Halinka. Halinka behind his own net. Passes to Bubla. 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the Soviet penalty as Peter Stastny goes in over the line, drops it back to Chernik. Chernik rolls it in front. Halinka backhands it into the corner. And they just fail to get a shot at Tretiak. And the puck is pinned there behind the Soviet goal.
And the Czechoslovakian national team, they are trying to open it up here because they've moved Halinka, who is normally a center. And they don't do this very often, these teams in Europe. Put forwards on the point, but they took Keuchel off his point position. And they moved Halinka, who had taken a regular shift at center. They moved him to one point with Bubla on the opposite, along with the Stastny group. So they're trying to get that extra offensive man out there because Halinka has the great shot and is a good goal scorer.
This is the final game of the World Hockey Championships, and you talk about sizable crowds. We haven't heard an official attendance for the tournament, but it has to be in the neighborhood of 350,000 people have witnessed games here in the Prague Arena. And they're hanging from the rafters literally in this game. Puck rolls back to Mikosh. Mikosh backhands it into the corner, and the puck slipped underneath him, and we get a whistle as he was tied up there by Petrov. It's really amazing the support the fans have given this tournament, Tom, here in Prague.
Well, everybody talks about it, and everybody's interested in it. I even saw a couple of young hockey players here today with their hockey equipment on and their skates over their shoulder. They must have had a workout somewhere earlier today.
Soviets coming back with the puck. This is Petrov, stopped at the line by Mikosh. Mikosh, number 4, is dumped. Soviets bring it over the line. This is Petrov, rolls it in front. Mikhailov, they score! Petrov. As Mikhailov sends the pass back to him, and he fires it into the empty net, and it's 2-0 for the Soviet Union.
Well, this is a disappointing blow to the Czechoslovakian national team. This puck was just bouncing around here. It's almost offside. You see it being held. Petrov can't seem to get the handle on it. He does. He flips it high in the air. Mikhailov made a very good play to stop it with his glove. Puts it back over to Petrov, who's got the open net to put it in. But that puck was difficult to control. Here it's almost offside at the line. You see Fedosov. He stays onside. Petrov controlling it. That control him. Just flips it over. Mikhailov stopping with his glove back to Petrov for the goal. But that was difficult to control it. But now the Czechoslovakian team, they're down 2 goals in this hockey game, and the gold may be in jeopardy.
Well, and if the goal was scored while the Soviets were a man short, Golikov was still in the penalty box with 25 seconds remaining in his penalty. The time of the goal was 17:59. Petrov scoring, and it's 2-0. Here's Hlinka coming out for Czechoslovakia. Pass on the right side. Puck rolled into the corner. Billy Letnov goes after it. Slaps it around to Helmut Balderas. And Balderas just shoots it down the ice right to Holacek. 3 seconds remaining in the penalty. And Golikov steps on the ice. The Soviets are back at full strength. Novi takes it into the corner. Pass in front. Back to the line. And that shot by Keuchel went way wide. Rolling shot from the side missed the net. Keuchel keeps it into Hlinka. Goes around the boards. Golikov goes after it. Bumped by Novi. Rolls it in front. And Hlinka almost deflected that pass. Tretiak. Up on the right side. Here's Balderas. Going in on goal. Balderas moves towards the net. Shoots and shot wide. And there will be a slashing penalty coming up to Czechoslovakia. It's amazing that Balderas did get a shot away because the Czechoslovakian player broke his stick slashing at him.
Well, Bubla had to put the lumber on him because he was going to that net, and what Balderas did too, he saw that he was even. Here we see the Soviet team breaking out. Balderas with his great speed. He sees Bubla coming from the far side, but he takes the time. There's the two-hander, breaking the stick. He takes the time to cut across, and you see the puck just going wide of the net. But Bubla just put that wood on him and gets his third minor penalty of the evening.
And the time of the penalty, 19 minutes and 10 seconds.
2 minutes more slashing.
Slashing penalty to Bubla. And the Soviets leading 2-0. Petrov scoring from Mikhailov at 17:59 of this period. And in the first period, it was Balderas scoring from Zlutov at 19:05. Bubla in the penalty box. Golikov moves in for this face-off for the Soviets against Novak, number 11. They go into the corner after it. Fired around the boards to Valery Harlamov. Harlamov trying to get the Soviets into scoring position here. And he lost it to Novak, who shoots it down the ice. And there are 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Soviets on the power play. Led here by Golikov, number 25, over the line. And it's intercepted. Here's a break for Martinet. Martinet going right in on goal. And he collides with Tretiak. The puck's in the net. The light has not gone on. The light has not gone on, and referee Pierce is standing right there. You see Tretiak. He's saying he's got it out.
Tretiak says it doesn't go over the net, but what happened? Martinez gets that breakaway. He moves right in. Now watch the replay here. Here comes Martinez in. He makes the little move. Tretiak going down. They all go into the net. Martinez, Tretiak. The goal judge didn't put on the light. He said that the puck didn't go over the net. Here's Martinez stealing the puck again. Perhaps this is a better angle to see it from. There we see the last Soviet defender diving. Martinez cuts in front, goes to the net with the puck. Everything goes. Everything. Martinez right into the net. And what they're saying, Tretiak, there you see the puck. It didn't go over the line. You see the puck just in front of the line. Even though the goaltender went back, you see Tretiak put his glove on it. But the goal judge didn't turn on the light. There's the puck in front of the line. There it is. And all of the puck has to go over all of the line. And there's the puck lying on the line, not over top, and the goal was not called. There's the first sight we see of it right now. It's not over the line. All of the puck has to be over all of the line.
Well, it was a tough position for the goal judge with the players in the net. But as you saw in the replay, at least from that angle, it did not go over the goal line. So it remains 2-0 with 15 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Oh, and what a goal that would have been for the Czechoslovakian team. With 15 seconds remaining, that would have given them a big lift coming out here for this third period. It's important to score in that last minute of play of the period.
And there's still a man short with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining in the slashing penalty to Bubla. Puck rolls to Boris Mikhailov, left it there, and now Sagankov will try for the Soviets, and we have 7 seconds left in the second period. Rolls the puck out to center. Petrov over the Czechoslovakian line, got a shot just as the horn goes to end the second period of play. And rightly so, Tom. A very close call in the Soviet net.
Well, this 2-0 tournament.
And they'll be obviously out trying to add to that total very early. Here in the third period, they start with a power play. Bubla is still in the penalty box for Czechoslovakia, and he has 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in his penalty. Puck is taken at center ice by Mikhailov, shoots it into the corner, and it's slapped off the boards and outside the line by Pozar. Cleared onto this side to Fedosov. He shoots it over on right wing. And it's broken up and shot down the ice right back into the Soviet zone with 38 seconds remaining in Bubla's penalty. Fedosov, number 2, behind his own goal. Leading a Soviet power play attack. Harlamov is on the left side, goes into the corner after it, but it's called offside at the Czechoslovakian line. And there are now 27 seconds left in Bubla's penalty. Face-off comes outside the Czechoslovakian blue line. 2-0, the Soviet Union leading Czechoslovakia. We played 43 seconds here in the third period. Pass over to Valery Harlamov, shoots it into the corner. Goes in after it with Holinka. Holinka bumps him. Harlamov backhands it back to Fedosov. Fedosov gets set, his shot, and it went sailing through the crease and went wide. Sagankov dumps it into the corner, gets it back again. Back to Fedosov. Fedosov fakes a shot. There's a drive, and it's knocked down in front as Petrov let that shot fly. Petrov has it again. Passes in front. Harlamov just failed to get his stick on it. Sagankov rolls it into Mikhailov. Around the boards to Petrov. Petrov is bumped. And the Czechoslovakian team back at full strength. Fedosov bumped by Pozar. Fedosov has the puck, takes a long shot, and that's stopped by Yuri Holacek. Harlamov bumped into the corner by Pozar. Pozar left it there for Mikos. Mikos tried to get it out, and the rolling puck goes to center to Holinka. Holinka passes on the left side, and 4 Soviets are back quickly to cover Pozar. Breaking away for the Soviets is Petrov, going over the line, got a shot. That hit Holacek high, and goes into the corner. Then slapped off the boards, down the ice into the Soviet zone, and it's icing against Czechoslovakia. We've played exactly 2 minutes here in the third period. Big day for Team Canada. Earlier today, Canada defeating Sweden 3-2, winning the bronze medal. Marcel Dion, who had an outstanding series. Sharpley and Hickey were the goal scorers for Team Canada today. Hickey getting the winner. Here it's the Soviets leading 2-0 over Czechoslovakia for the gold medal. Kapustin comes in over the line to Zluktov, back to Kapustin, and his shot is gloved by Yuri Holacek. And the Soviets have to increase that goal production to win the gold medal over Czechoslovakia.
Well, here we see the Soviets moving over the line, and Czechoslovakia has got to pick up the tempo of this hockey game. They can't just sit back and try to defend. They've got to start mounting an attack.
Ilya Letnov let a shot go that goes wide of the Czechoslovakia net. Martinet's got it, shoots it out to center ice to Novak. Novak coming in with Augusta over the line, and it's bumped away from him. And going after it is Vladimir Luchenko. Luchenko left the puck there. Bounces off the boards to Balderas. Balderas trying to feed it to Kapustin. Rolls into the Czechoslovakian end. And it's icing against the Soviets. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. To go, the puck is dropped, comes back to Mikos, but he couldn't keep it in. Golikov races into the Czechoslovakian zone. Dvorak had him tied up. Back to the line. That shot by Provukin hit a player in front. And Czechoslovakia comes back. Marian Stastny going over the line with brother Peter. Puck rolls into the corner as Vasiliev slips and falls. Lebedev bumping with Marian Stastny. The puck rolls into the corner. And Chernik has his player tied up. And moving in to help out is Provukin, and they get a whistle.
Well, we see Lebedev now taking a regular shift, so apparently Maltsev will not be back. He went to the room before the end of the second period, but he's been replaced on this line with the 2 Golikov brothers by Lebedev.
And we played 3 minutes and 9 seconds here in the third period. That shot just went wide of the Soviet goal. And it's cleared by Lebedev down the ice. And back after it is Dvorak, number 9. And it's icing against the Soviet Union. 2-0 for the Soviets on goals by Balderas and Petrov. And over 2 periods, the Soviets have outshot Czechoslovakia 24-12. 3 minutes and 21 seconds have been played here in the third period. Harlamov rolls it outside. Petrov takes it, and he collides at center ice. Milan Novi comes back over to Halinka, drops it in front, and that was broken up by Fedosov. Clear to the far side. Keuchel goes after it for Czechoslovakia. He's bumped off the play, and Zagankov leads a rush up to Valery Harlamov. Gets away from Pozar. In behind the Czechoslovakian goal, rolls it in front. That shot is stopped by the goaltender Holacek as Mikhailov let it go. Now it's the Czechoslovakia team, Bubla, getting it over the line, and they call it knocked down with a high stick. Novi, number 6, on the replay. Well, judge for yourself. Was it hit by the high stick? Referee says yes, and we have a face-off. 4 minutes and 3 seconds have been played in the third period. And change of players right around. Lukov comes to center ice now for the Soviet Union. Puck rolls inside the Soviet line, then slapped off the boards down the ice, with Caberly going back after it, and the Soviets again called on the icing. Tretiak in goal for the Soviet Union. The face-off to his left. Ready now. Novak against Lukov. Puck rolls over, slapped against the boards, and covering up is Vasiliev. He shoots it out to center ice. Balderas almost breaks away, but it's an offside pass.
Well, on that offside pass, Balderas always dangerous. He likes to stay high. Here we see right from the draw, the puck coming loose. It gets thrown ahead. And if it hits that defender there, he might have been onside, but he likes to stay very high, get behind the defenseman, and use his speed to go to the net.
4 minutes and 20 seconds have been played in the third period. The Soviet Union leading 2-0. Billy Letnov goes after the puck, number 14. Fires it behind his own net to Vasiliev. Up on the left side to Sergei Makarov. He was knocked against the boards. Kept inside, and then finally Zlukov gets it to Balderas. Balderas fakes a shot, and he was stopped inside the line by Zajac. Long pass, but the Czechoslovakian player bumped against the boards by Vasiliev. Here comes Balderas back again, number 19. Going over the line, drops it back for Zlukov. Intercepted by Martinez. Then he's checked. Novak got it momentarily, and Makarov comes back now for the Soviets. Makarov coming into the Czechoslovakian line. He's checked. And we reach the 5-minute, 10-second mark of the third period. Dashny coming to the Soviet line and over. Shoots it into the corner. Vasiliev goes back after it. Billy Letnov helps out. Can't get it out. Czechoslovakian player keeps it in. That's Chernik trying to get it in front. Peter Stashny was tied up. Mikosh dumps it in behind the Soviet goal. Billy Letnov bumps with Chernik. Now Zlukov tries to get it out. As they scramble for possession, Makarov finally dumps it out to center ice. Soviets 2 and Czechoslovakia nothing. Tretiak stops that. And the Soviets shoot it down the ice. And again called on icing.
Well, again, what these European teams do, Golikov, he could have maintained possession of that puck, but he just took it and shot it down the ice because his team was in the middle of a change. They didn't want to get caught too far away, and the European teams will do this if they're in the middle of the change and they don't see an offensive opportunity. They simply ice the puck, kill the play, and then make their change.
We played 5 minutes and 50 seconds in the third period. Face off to the left of Tretiak. Milan Novi's out there with Pozar and Halinka. And the puck rolls back to Keuchel. Over to Pozar. Shoots it in. Tretiak out of the net. Left it there for Pervukin. Pervukin, number 5, backhands it out to center ice. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Soviets going in on goal. Faking a shot. Passing in front. They score. Golikov makes it 3-0.
Well, there are two happy brothers, the two Golikovs, to have the Soviets go ahead. Here's the 2-on-1 opportunity. Pervukin shoots it out. The Czechoslovakian defender isn't able to tie it up at the blue line. Here the 2-on-1 is created, faking the shot, down, holding onto it, putting it across to his brother, just putting the puck over top of Holacek. The 2-on-1 again, fake the shot, hold, defender goes down, throws it to the far side, giving that open side of the net as Holacek. You just see Golikov put it in the net as he goes behind.
Vladimir Golikov makes it 3-0 for the Soviet Union. The time of the goal, 6 minutes and 10 seconds of the third period. And that's a big goal for the Soviet Hockey Club. Petrov moves to center ice now with Mikhailov and Harlamov on the wing. Novak will take the face-off for Czechoslovakia. Martinez, number 10 on the right side. As we get set for this face-off now, we've played 6 minutes and 10 seconds in the third period. Puck rolls to Zajac. And Kaberle goes into the corner, bumped there by Mikhailov. Czechoslovakia trailing by a score of 3-0. Harlamov intercepts that pass, coming right back in towards the goal. He's hauled down, and the puck stopped there by Fetisov. Martinetko got it ahead to Novak, coming in with Augusta, and he fans on his shot, but he's jumped by Zagankov, and there'll be a penalty to Zagankov of the Soviet Union. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Minutes and 39 seconds have been played. Zagankov penalized for the Soviet Union. And Czechoslovakia trailing 3-0. Have a power play. Peter Stastny moves out there with Chernik and Marian Stastny. As the forward unit on this power play, puck rolls into the corner. Vasiliev and Chernik bump for it. And we get another whistle.
Well, this is another key point for the Czechoslovakian team. They have to get a goal in this hockey game, and here they are on the power play. They need to come back here and get this goal, get on the scoreboard. It's very important, every goal.
Puck rolls underneath the Soviet player, Petrov, and he makes sure it stays there, and we get another whistle. With 1 minute and 52 seconds remaining in Zagankov's penalty. Now the Soviet team hold up the face-off as Petrov goes over to talk to the coach at the bench. Referee for the game is Ken Pierce of the United States. Schall of Hungary and Ferber of Sweden are the two linesmen. Puck rolls over to Chernik, trying to get it back to the point. Knocked off the puck by Mikhailov, who scoops it out to center ice. Dvorak, number 9, back inside his own blue line for Czechoslovakia. We played 7 minutes and 5 seconds in the third period. The Soviets lead 3-0. This is Peter Stastny coming to the Soviet line and over. Chernik takes the pass. Puck rolls into the corner, and the Soviets shoot it high and right down into the Czechoslovakian zone. Mikosh goes back, number 4. Setting up in this power play, 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the Soviet penalty. The Soviets lead 3-0 as Hlinka winds up. Hlinka passes on the left wing side, going over the line with Bozar, but he couldn't control that pass, and it's broken up again. And Mikosh goes right back behind his own goal to start again with 53 seconds left in the penalty to Zagankov. Hlinka coming up on the right wing side, in with Novi. It's offside, as Bozar was over on left wing.
Well, again, we'd like to remind the sports fans that now the Soviets have the advantage in this hockey game. Here we see the Soviets moving across the line, or Czechoslovakians moving across the line. But if the Soviets can hang on to this 3-0 lead, they will win the game by 3 goals. That will mean that they not only will have won the game by a greater advantage than the previous meeting between the two teams, but it will also have the spread in the goals for and against. So it's very important that Czechoslovakia can get some goals and get back in the hockey game to remove that difference.
Bubla in behind his own net. Czechoslovakia still on the power play. 35 seconds left in the Soviet penalty. Bubla comes straight up the middle, tries to get a pass to Novi, and it hit a stick, and Hlinka was offside at the Soviet blue line. 8 minutes and 9 seconds have been played now. Halinka remains out there for this face-off, and he has seen a lot of action in the game for Czechoslovakia. Mikhailov, number 13, looking on from the bench. Lutov, number 22, into the face-off position. He's out there with Balderas. And now Billy Letnov goes off. Vasiliev switches positions as Pervukin moves to the left defensive side. Novi right from the draw, shoots it into the corner. Vasiliev goes in after it. Backhands it high and up over the glass into the crowd, out of play. And there are now 22 seconds remaining in the Soviet penalty. Face off to the right of Krejciak. 3-0 for the Soviet Union over Czechoslovakia. This game live on the full CTV network from Prague, Czechoslovakia. Here's Halinka in the corner, chased by Vasiliev. Pass comes back to the line. Budla getting set, gets a shot away. Krejciak takes no chances and smothers it quickly.
Well, so far the Czechoslovakian power play hasn't been as awesome as it was earlier in the tournament. In fact, the difference in the previous game with the Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia had 2 power play goals, and that was the edge that they needed to win that previous hockey game 6-4.
7 seconds left in the penalty. Halinka slaps the puck back to Budla. Budla into the corner to Novi. Novi trying to get someone in scoring position. Shoots in front. They score! Halinka scores for Czechoslovakia.
Well, just as we said it, there it was. Halinka gets it back on the scoreboard here. The first power play goal, Sagankov just came out of the box, but Halinka was able to get in front of Krejciak, control that puck and put it over. Here it comes back to Budla, moves it into the corner. Now watch Halinka move right in front. At the far side, his teammate is holding off the other Soviet defender, gives him time to come back and put it high up over. But this is what the Europeans do. They have that interference or screening. Look at his teammate holding that other defender off so he has enough room to make the move and put it up over Krejciak.
And the time of the goal, 8 minutes and 42 seconds. The first goal of the game for Czechoslovakia. And it's their very popular captain, Halinka, getting the goal. And for the Soviet Union. Both teams at full strength. The puck goes over to Lebedev. Lebedev is bumped against the boards there on the far side by Augusta. And we get a whistle. Soviets 3 and Czechoslovakia 1. And that has brought the crowd to life here in Prague. Off the boards, Augusta tries to clear it in. It's shot into the corner. Martinet run around by Fetisov. Rolling puck in front. And covering up was Alexander Golikov. Golikov racing back for the Soviets. Shoots it right to Holacek. Over to Martinet. Martinet over to an open wing. Augusta goes after it. Got it into the Soviet zone on a weak backhander. Zagankov covers up. He's bumped against the boards, and Lebedev brings it out. Lebedev to center ice. Coming over the line is Golikov. Stops. Back to Fetisov. His shot deflected in front. Back to Zlutov. And a good defensive play by Caberly as he covers up.
Well, we have to keep reminding the fans at home now, if this 2-goal margin stays the way it is, it means that they each have a win against one another. The margin in each of the games was still 2 goals, so they go to the third, which is they look at the goals for and against for each of the teams throughout the tournament, and at the present time, the Soviets have an edge. So it's very important that Czechoslovakia gets another goal here. Even if they lose this game by only 1 goal, they will still be the world's champions because they have the edge in the goals in the 2 games.
And we played 9 minutes and 31 seconds in the third period. 3-1 for the Soviet Union. That backhand shot from Zagankov goes wide. Nikos tries to get it out. Fetisov keeps it in. And his shot bounced off Nikos and went wide. Now Chernik will try. Chernik brings it out for Czechoslovakia. Coming up over the Soviet line. Passes in front, and Peter Stastny couldn't get a shot away as it's shot right back out. 4 seconds before the midway point of the third period. And there the horn goes. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. And welcome back to Prague, Czechoslovakia. for the final 10 minutes between the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia, with the Soviets leading 3-1. This is Bernie Pascal along with Tom Watt and Bill Stevenson. And a capacity crowd here in Prague. Keitel at his home blue line. Swings away. Comes Luptov, gets a long shot. That missed the net, came in front. Oh, and Kretschak made a great save there as the Soviets come racing right back now. This is Balderas coming over the line. Drops the puck into the corner. Vasiliev bumped against the boards by Halinka. Halinka goes after it. Vasiliev again pins him there. And they hold it for another whistle.
Well, that was very, very close. Here's the first shot from outside. It hits the boards, and the boards here are very quick. It comes right back out in front. Tretiak loses it. There's the second shot, and he has to make the great stop after that puck comes off the back boards.
Both teams are at full strength. 3-1 for the Soviet Union. Richter swinging away. Coming out now to center ice. Up over the line. Keitel's shot goes wide, and the Soviets have the puck inside their own zone. Zlutov to center to Balderas. Balderas stopped inside the line, and the puck rolls to Bubla. Bubla, number 19. Coming out for Czechoslovakia. Pozar on the left takes the pass, has trouble with it. Got a shot that went sailing through the crease. Richter bumps on the far side with Kapustin. And Zlutov, another pass intended this time for Balderas. And it's called for icing against the Soviet Union.
Again, we keep reminding you fans now that it's important. The Soviets must win this hockey game by 2 goals if they want the gold medal. If they win by 1, or it's a tie.
And the fans really have come to life here in Prague after that last goal scored by Halinka to cut the margin to 3-1. Harlamov bumps into Kaberle. Can't get it out, but he's helped out there by Petrov. And he has trouble with it. Petrov gets it again. Pass on the right side to Mikhailov. Mikhailov chasing Zajac in behind his own goal. Zajac stopped by Valery Harlamov. Kaberle goes in to help out. Gets the puck ahead. And Richter coming out on the left side. Dropped it back. There's a chance for Augusta. Augusta going over the line, and he's tied up. Puck taken into the corner by Zagankov. Martinez. He's tied up there by Petrov. Can't get a pass in front. Rolls in behind the net. There's a chance at the line. That shot hit a Soviet player and goes wide. And Harlamov brings it out to the Czechoslovakian line and over where he bumps with Zajac. Martinez in the corner. And we have exactly 8 minutes remaining in the game. The puck into the Soviet zone. Zagankov and Chernik collided, and the fans looking for a penalty there, but the referee Pierce says no, and rightly so. Puck taken into the corner. Harlamov bumps with Kaberle, and the puck goes to Zajac. Zajac coming out for Czechoslovakia to Marian Stastny. Going in with Peter Stastny over the line, a pass in front, and that shot, Tretiak stopped Peter Stastny. Soviets leading 3-1, and we played 12 minutes and 40 seconds here in the third period. And the Soviet player Harlamov ices the puck, and the face-off brought back into the Soviet zone.
Well, the fans here are in a frenzy with Czechoslovakia trying to put their charges on here. Get a goal, get a goal, get a goal, because if they get that 1 goal, they will remain the world champions. They can't lose this hockey game by 2 goals to the Soviets.
And we'd like to take this opportunity to convey our thanks to the folks at Carling O'Keefe for their great support of Team Canada and the sponsorship of our telecast on the full CTV network. Likes of George Fuller, Julian Klimkew, Pierre Lacroix, Dave Lewis, and the rest of the Carling folks have been a big help and great supporters of Team Canada. And Canada earlier today winning the bronze medal with the 3-2 victory over Sweden. 3-1 here for the Soviets over Czechoslovakia. Halinka into the face-off position. Puck is dropped, rolled outside the line, and it's brought out by Golikov over the Czechoslovakian line to Lebedev. Lebedev watched in the corner by Keitel. Lebedev still goes after it, gets a pass back in front, and it's intercepted and brought back out by the Soviets. Or by Czechoslovakia. Halinka over to Richter. And a delayed offside and called at the Soviet blue line.
Well, Richter very good with his skate there. Watch this little pass. The puck, he loses control of it. Look, he just takes that on his skate, brings it back onto a stick, but unfortunately Halinka is in there beside him. But a very good skillful play by Richter, bringing that pass back onto his skate to regain possession of the puck.
Balderas, Petrov, and Golikov have scored the goals for the Soviet Union. Halinka has scored for Czechoslovakia. Puck loose at center. Golikov had it momentarily. It rolls into the Soviet zone. Pervukin in front of his own net. And the pass comes over to Lebedev on right wing. Lebedev, number 11, bumped against the boards by Pozar. Goes back after it. Passed in front. Richter knocked that down. Rolls back. There's a shot. And it was deflected in front as Golikov let that one fly. Czechoslovakia having trouble getting it out of their own zone. Lebedev is pinned against the boards. Puck rolls loose. Back to the line, deflected. And that just sailed wide of goaltender Polacek. Another shot. And that hit the side of the net. Lebedev clears it in front. And finally they get it out to center ice with Vasiliev after it. Vasiliev, the lead pass for Golikov. Delayed offside inside the Czechoslovakian line. Brought out by the Czechoslovakian player. Halinka passes in front. Bubla shoots. And he didn't really get good wood on that, but the save was made by Tretiak. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. We have 5 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the third period. The Soviets leading 3-1. Mark Netz bumps with Fedosov. Fedosov got the puck out, and it's shot into the Czechoslovakian zone with Zajac back after it. Augusta, number 16, goes in behind his own goal. Watch there. Now leads the Czechoslovakian attack. Coming straight up the middle. Both teams at full strength. Shoots it into the corner. Fedosov goes in quickly after it and gets there for the Soviets, but can't get it out. Zajac gets a shot deflected in front, and Tretiak covered up. Off the boards, Fedosov bumps. Augusta goes in after it. He's turned around by Zlukov. The puck rolls to Novi. Novi pins the Soviet player. Now two players collide, and Zlukov gets it outside the line. And we have exactly 5 minutes remaining. Taking a shot, moving towards the goal. A pass in front. And that's intercepted by Billy Letnov as he's bumped against the boards by Chernik. And the two Soviet players try to hold it there to get a whistle. Billy Letnov holding it there, and finally, whistle is blown, and we'll get that face-off.
Well, the official now. Here we see the pressure being put on by the Czechoslovakian team. There's the first little deflection from in front of the net. Tretiak kicks out. Here we see Fedosov just moving it behind the net. But the official, there are a few little hooks, a few little grabs and so on. But he's going to let the players decide this. He doesn't want to call a penalty with so much resting on this hockey game so late in the game. But he's just going to let them go.
And we're into the final 4 minutes and 35 seconds. The Soviet Union leading 3-1. Earlier today, Canada won a bronze medal, defeating Sweden 3-2. And the goal scorers for Team Canada today were Marcel Dion, Sharpley, and Hickey. Puck is dropped, comes back to Dvorak, fires it to the other side. Miko's shot was deflected and just went wide. Chernik bumps with the Soviet player, and it's brought out by Mikhailov, cleared to an open wing. Mikosh backhands it, hits the linesman, rolls to Fedosov at center. He's bumped by Marian Stastny to Peter Stastny, and the puck just rolled off his stick. Back come the Soviets. A good check there as Mikhailov is hit by Dvorak. Marian Stastny over the line. Back to Peter Stastny, lets it go, and that hit a skate and went wide. Petrov off the boards to Valery Harlamov. Out with Mikhailov. Fedosov, the defenseman at the Czechoslovakian line. Harlamov is checked hard by Dvorak. And here comes Peter Stastny. Stastny back for Czechoslovakia to Chernik. Chernik into the corner, and he's bumped by Zagankov. And we've played 16 minutes and 21 seconds.
Well, the tension in the building now is rising because it's very important. You can hear the little murmur in the crowd from everybody, and here they go, start yelling for the hometown Czechoslovakian national team, because this is very important. Even though they lose the game, they can retain the World's Hockey Championship and the gold medal.
Soviets leading 3-1. Face off to the right of Tretiak. And the big line out there now. There's a shot. And Tretiak somehow saw that and deflected it into the corner. And on that other shot, he holds on, and we get a whistle. This is the World Hockey Championship on CTV. And play just underway with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. Here in the third period, Hlinka coming out for Czechoslovakia, pass to Keuchel, and that was too far. He couldn't reach it. Delayed offside at the Soviet line. And we have now 3 minutes and 5 seconds left.
Well, a delayed offside like that, it's very important you jump in. The Soviet team, they were content not to get that puck. If they could retain possession, the official wouldn't have blown his whistle as the puck went over the line. But the Soviets just let the puck lay there. Now the face-off is in front, but they could have kept possession of the puck. But they felt it was more, I think, only the second time in the game, the leading scorer in the Czech league. And I believe he had been hurt earlier in the tournament, but they've got him out here trying to get that goal that is going to give them the World's Championships.
And the All-Star team announced today the 6 players, 3 from Czechoslovakia, Holacek, Bubla, and Hlinka, and 3 from the Soviet Union, Fedosov, Kapustin, and Maltsev. And the puck right from the draw is cleared up over the glass out of play. Soviet Union leading Czechoslovakia 3-1. Novi against Lutov for this faceoff. High puck taken by Novi, and it's called offside. And the Czechoslovakian players a little upset with that call.
Well, here's the puck there. You see it just being brought in, but we see on this side, number 16 just moving across the line in front of Milan Novi.
Novi slaps it right back into the Soviet zone, and we have 3 minutes now left in the game. Kept in there by Kaberle. He's knocked flat by Kapustin. No penalty there. A pass in front. And Zagankov covers up for the Soviet Union. Novi goes after it. Lutov checks him. Now Zagankov goes after Novi. The puck rolls back to the line. And the Soviets come back. Here's Balderas moving in with Kapustin. And it's offside at the Czechoslovakian line.
Well, Kapustin, even though Balderas has had a great game, Kapustin was really upset that Balderas didn't move that puck ahead a little further. He's done a few spinoramas before he goes off here. But if Balderas moves that puck a little quicker, Kapustin gets the breakaway. Kapustin is really upset with Balderas as he goes to the bench. But the Czechoslovakian team just putting on all kinds of pressure here. The Soviets sitting back, maybe too much so.
2 minutes and 30 seconds remain in the game. The Soviets lead 3-1. Borzak tries to get it out. Stopped there by Petrov, and now Mikhailov goes in behind the Czechoslovakian net, but he couldn't get to the puck. Chernik on the left side, coming out to center. He was checked there by Petrov. Dvorak ahead to Peter Stastny. Back to Marian Stastny into the corner, and he's tied up by Zagankov. Puck rolls to the Soviet line, brought out by Petrov. Petrov going over the line with Mikhailov. And we have 2 minutes remaining now in the game. 2 minutes left. Peter Stastny drops it in front of his own net to Mikhail. Stastny overskated the puck. Now Dvorak helps out. Gets it up to Marian Stastny. He's over the line. Rolls it to Pozar. And it's fired right back into the Czechoslovakian zone with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the game. And the puck rolls back in behind the Soviet goal. Mikhailov goes in after it. Hlinka pins him against the boards, and we get a whistle.
Why would Holacek stop that puck? It was going down. It was going to be an icing call. It would have been brought all the way back. They could have made the change before. Came out, the official had signaled the icing all the way back. But here we have the signal coming from the Czechoslovakian bench. They're giving the word to Holacek about whether they want to bring him out and at what time. There's the coach over talking to him.
Well, Karl Gut and Dr. Starchy, the coaches of Czechoslovakia. And the Soviets leading by a score of 3-1.
And of course, what he's telling them here, they may take that goal turn. They need 1 goal, even though they're down 2 in the game. They need 1 goal. They need to lose the game by less than 2 goals if they want the medal, because in the previous game, they had defeated the Soviets by 2 goals. So they need that edge. If they lose this one by only 1, they will retain the World's Championship. So it's very important for them to get that goal. But Holacek remains in the net at this point.
And we have 1 minute and 22 seconds left. 3-1 for the Soviet Union. Halinka, as he's done so often in this game, is out there for the key faceoff. Martinet goes over to the bench to get a new stick. Holacek still in the Czechoslovakian net with instructions from the bench to come out when they get the advantage of that puck. Here's the play. Golikov coming on the left wing side. He's pinned against the boards by Dvorak. Puck rolls into the corner. Lebedev is bumped. Golikov goes after it. Took a weak shot. Dvorak slaps it, but not out. Kept in there by Golikov. It rolls towards the net. And here's Halinka. 1 minute. 1 minute left in the game. 3-1 for the Soviet Union. Intercepted by Golikov. Coming in with Lebedev. And the puck rolls right to Holacek. He lost control of it, but the rebound was taken by Golikov and deflected wide. And that was a dangerous play as Holacek misjudged the puck as he tried to hit it away.
Well, not only was it a dangerous play, but I wonder if the coaching staff were second-guessing themselves a little bit that they didn't take the goaltender out with 1:28 left, because now they've got less than a minute to play. The face-off just at the blue line, they may not be able to get him out at this point. But here we see Holacek. Whoops, the stick goes over the top, doesn't get all the wood on it, and Golikov almost had a layup.
44 seconds left. And the Soviets lead 3-1. Face-off directly in front of Holacek, outside the Czechoslovakian blue line. Marian Stastny, Peter Stastny, and Chernik out there for Czechoslovakia. The Soviets shoot it right in. And back after it is Dvorak. Dvorak ahead to Peter Stastny. Stastny coming up to center. Shoots it into the Soviet zone. And back into the corner after it goes Chernik. He couldn't get it. Slapped into the corner. Chernik trying to come up with it. Here's Marian Stastny. Back to Chernik. And he couldn't get a shot away, and we have 20 seconds left. 20 seconds left in the game as the puck is cleared down the ice into the Czechoslovakian zone. And nearly come again. Marian Stastny. 10 seconds left. And it stopped at the Soviet line there by Mikhailov. Pass to Petrov. 5 seconds. Holacek gets to it, and the horn goes. And look at that Soviet bench. They win by 2 goals, and they win the gold medal. And they're throwing their sticks up over the glass to the Soviet supporters.
Well, what a disappointment this is to the Czechoslovakian national team. They won the last 2 World Championships, and you know, sometimes